Next case, Ed Lazear is with us. And now, Ed, you're the Stanford Graduate School of Business professor, former chief economic advisor to President George W. Bush. I'm just establishing your credentials, Ed, and they are valuable indeed. Okay, I know you wanted to talk about achieving 3% growth. But let me turn this around. I got to talk about the tax cut, because that's what our audience cares about. And it's what I care about.
Absolutely.
I'm pounding the table. We know that. Okay. Are we going to get a tax reform bill signed by August, as the Treasury Secretary said on this program yesterday?
Well, I don't know if we'll get it signed by August, but we better get a tax reform bill if the Republicans expect to stay.
I mean, I got to know. I mean, are you doubtful about that time frame?
I would say, no, August, it may not be August. It may be the end of the year. That'll be good enough. I think that the key thing is to make sure that we do it and do it this year. That's one of the key ingredients to growth. It actually is related to the initial point that you made about 3% growth, because to my mind, the only way that we're going to get there is by making sure that we stimulate investment. Investment has been the big problem throughout the recovery, as you know, and that's caused productivity to lag. Without productivity growth, without getting back to our previous level of productivity, we're not going to get there. We're not going to get to the kind of growth that we've had in the past. By the way, 3% growth is not unusual. That's our norm. That's not the exception. That's what we had before 2007 for 30 years. So there's no reason why we can't get back there.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt. I'm sorry to jump all over you like this. I do apologize, but I want to simplify it, because, you know, I'm a relatively simple kind of guy. If we do not get a tax cut package this year, at some point this year, if we don't get it some point this year, I take it we do not get 3 or 4% growth next year. Would you say that?
I would say it would be very difficult, because in order to get productivity back up, again, you know, that's the key. Remember, the growth rate is the sum of two things. It's the sum of productivity growth and labor growth. And productivity growth historically has been about 2%. But over the past 7 years, it's been 1%. So we need to double that. How are you going to do it? Well, essentially, the only way to do it is to make sure that you get the kind of technology, the kind of research and development, the kind of capital formation that we had in the past. And the best way to get there is to make sure that we cut taxes. And by the way, Stuart, all tax cuts are not equal. The most important tax cut for the purposes of economic growth is cutting taxation on capital, cutting taxation on investment. My favorite way to do this is to have full expensing rather than having lower corporate tax rates. So the lower corporate tax rates work, but they work on a much slower basis. So I would go for full expensing, immediate depreciation with carry forwards, allow businesses to deduct what they invest, and you'll see the economy grow.
You are totally wrong. You do understand that you are totally wrong. The most important tax cut is for individuals, so that you can put more money back into the hands of those people who make it and who will spend it and invest it properly. I can see I've won you over.
Well, I wish you were right. You know, there's unfortunately, I know the evidence probably better than you do, to be honest. And unfortunately, the evidence is pretty strong on the investment side.
Can I jump in again?
I would love to see.
Can I jump in again?
Well, I just would like to say I'd love to see personal tax cuts as well. You know, I'm not opposed to those, but if you're concerned about growth, you really do have to think about the capital side.
Wasn't it Bill Clinton who reduced capital gains taxes? Bill Clinton cut capital gains taxes, didn't he?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Cutting capital gains tax is a good thing. It's a step in the right direction. It's part of the package. There are a number of ways to stimulate investment, and there's not just one simple way to do it. But the key is to make sure that you keep your eye on the ball. Remember, you know, as you've reported frequently, I watch your show almost every day, and as you've reported frequently, we know that this is a period during which capital has not grown at the kind of rates that we've seen in the past and the kind of rates that we need. So in order to get that to happen, the tax side is 90% of the story. So that's why I focus on that.
You watch the show almost every day? Really?
I do.
Are you flattering me deliberately?
I really do.
Because it works, you know. You can come back any time you like, lad. So, well, look, I'm very pleased to hear that, because I know your background. I know you're a powerful guy. And it's really great to hear that you watch this show even occasionally. I'm flattered by it, and we appreciate it. Seriously, I really do feel that way. Thank you very much, Ed. Come back anytime you
Thank
like,
you.
lad. You say, co-anchor the show, why don't you?
All right.